Okay, a little about myself. My name is Fiona, and the reason why I decided to contact Rahul, a lot of it was because of there are a lot of messages that each and every one of us have. Whether we know it, we realize it, we have thought of it before, or maybe it's just simply stories that we can tell. So I was looking for answers in my life as young as when I was 13 and 14. So what happened was, I always imagined to myself that one day what happens if my parents were to die? And I always ask myself this question since then. So most of my life, I have not been actually working towards having the best career. I wasn't actually, wanting to make the next $1 million because I felt none of this was important to me. But one thing I did was to keep searching for mentors and teachers who give us the answers that we really want. So I came across this book called The Diamond Cutter, and it's written by Geshe Michael Roach. If you have not read it, I would highly encourage you to read it. And from then, I started to understand and learn some of these principles and apply in my life. I saw how it has actually changed and empowered not only myself, but people around us. Because you never know, a simple sentence that you said today, it may actually change a person's life forever. And like what Julie mentioned, it's not us being the person who tell you what it is, but it's for you to realize what it really means. So what happened later on was that I started to actually use certain tools in my own life. And especially one thing was very important is about understanding and embracing our own emotions. So how do we do that, and how do we go about doing that? Number one, how many of you journal? Do you remember when was the last time you journaled? Okay, so today I'm going to share some tips on journaling because you can start to practice at home. So what do you take note when we are journaling? Very simply, just our 5 senses. What we see, what we touch, what we hear, what else is there? See, touch, hear, feel, and think, right? Think. Pardon? Taste, yes, taste. And the last one, very important, is there are 2 things when we come to our minds. One is what we think, the other one is what we feel, which is one is connecting to your heart, and the other one is connecting to your mind. And why is that very important? Why do you think that we have to separate into 2 aspects when we're talking about the subconscious or the mind? Why do you think that's important? They're not in sync, yes. So one of the things is they may not be in sync. And we don't even realize it if we just do the things that we do every day. So how do we actually bring us into a moment of being present, which is what many of the speakers have actually mentioned, including Devi, including Julie, and all the speakers. What does it mean to be in the present? Okay, so now I'm going to share with you what Rahul shared earlier. It's about this concept called zero, which is to be able to put us into a state where we are able to live our present moment. Okay, so the first one starts with Z. Okay, the first one starts with Z. So when we are in our emotions, whether it's positive or whether it's negative, we usually forget something very simple, which is which was what actually Devi actually really encouraged us to do, which is to breathe. Exactly. So the first one was Zen breathing. What do you mean by that? To actually stop and be aware of what we are doing, what we are experiencing. Okay. So a simple exercise you can do is to close your eyes first. Okay, close your eyes. Everybody can do this. Okay. Breathe in 4 counts. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, breathe out for 12 counts if you can. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, open your eyes. Can you feel? Now can you feel better? Like where you are now? So this is a very simple exercise that you can do if you get caught up. Whether you're caught up in being very excited or whether you're caught up in a situation where you don't know what to do next. Okay, so the first one is Z. Okay, the second one, do all of you have a piece of paper? a blank piece of paper if you can. If not, can we just pass some around? Okay, I'm going to ask you to do a very simple exercise. Okay, on half the piece of, divide your paper into half. Divide the paper into half. And these are some things that you can use when you're journaling as well. You can divide it into half. A vertical half, like what Carolina did. This way. A vertical half. Divide it into a vertical half. Okay, so I'm going to give all of you, okay, pass some around. Okay? Okay, so what you're going to do is on the first half, on your left-hand side, okay, I want you to write, you can think of a person, you can think of a situation, it's all fine, okay? All the negative emotions that you have. Okay, what do you mean by negative? Something that you feel is making you uncomfortable. Okay? So I'll give you 2 minutes. Check. I'll give you about 2 minutes to write down all the negative emotions that you have on the left-hand side. Okay? So what are some of the negative emotions that you may have? Anybody want to share? What are some of the negative emotions you may have? What does it make you feel? Okay, the feeling. I want feeling. Worried, frustration. Okay. What else? What other words are there? Jealousy. Okay, I heard jealousy somewhere. What are the other words there? Feel? Fear. Okay, fear. Okay, very good. Confusion. Yeah, sometimes we get stuck, we feel confused because we don't have clarity, right? Okay. So this is a very simple exercise, and the more you can actually write, it means you are even more empowered. And I'm going to explain that in a little bit. Okay, the more you can write about your negative emotions, the more aware we are of how we feel. And the more aware of how we feel, can we then change it? We have the power to change it, right? Okay. Okay. So now after you've written on the left side, now I want you to write the exact equivalent of the positive on the right hand side. Okay, if you're not sure, use your phone to look for antonyms and see which are the antonyms that resonate most with you. Okay? So that means you can feel, for example, Caroline, what do you have? Fear. What's the opposite of fear? Courage, right? Strength. Okay? Okay, what's the opposite of frustration? Frustration. What do you think is the opposite of frustration to you? Because these are all individual feelings, so you can bring this exercise home, okay? What do you think is the positive of frustration to you? Taking action, okay? It can be, instead of being frustrated, I'm moving. Instead of being stuck, I'm actually moving. Okay? What other negative words, and then what are the positive ones for you? The negative of love is what? Jealousy, yeah. Jealousy or hatred, yeah, the positive would be love. Correct? Okay, so in fact, I want you to understand the power of journaling. The moment you can understand what negative feelings that you have in your journal, can you change that? Can you change that? You can, right? You can change it into something positive, okay? So this second part, okay, this whole paper is you. You realize that this whole paper is actually you. It's whatever you think and say and talk to yourself, is like what Julie mentioned. It's us, okay? Each of it is unique to yourself, because this is everything about you. So the second is E. It's called embracing emotions. In the other class, what I did was I give them a piece of paper and asked them to cut a heart shape. Heart shape. So left side is negative, right side is positive, but it's all you. And there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with you. All we need to understand is how do we switch it around. Okay? So that's E. Okay, so the next one, what's the third alphabet for 0? R. Okay, R. R, there are two parts to R. The first one, is it easier to change ourselves, or is it easier to change people around us? Okay, so if we know that it's easier to change ourselves, so what's the best thing to do? It is, once we understand and embrace our own emotions, our own feelings, go and look at the mirror. In the class, I will show them a picture of a girl, and this girl will be actually sitting in front of the mirror. So what do you think the girl is doing? Reflecting, yes. Reflecting, okay? So the first part, yes, is reflection. But there's a second part to it which you can do, which is called this emotion. Okay, if it's a negative emotion, this emotion is not working for me anymore. I am going to release it. Release it. Okay, so reflect and release. Okay, reflect and release. It's not working for me, I'm going to release it. Okay, so that's R. So how long do you think you need to do this action? How long do you need to do? Anu just gave the Anu just laughed, okay? How long do you need to do? No, how long do you think you need to do? 1 second, okay? How? It's a process, okay, very good. But 1 second is all you need to start. 1 second is all you need to start. As long as you start, means you have become empowered. You have empowered yourself, okay? So what is a good practice? Because it's a process, right? So start with 1 second. If you can do it, do 3 seconds, do 10 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and gradually will it become hours and hours that you are perfectly in a good state? Will it? You have to try it, okay? This is something that I tried for myself and it really worked. And I really hope that you will be able to try. Take it home and try, okay? So the last one is, the last alphabet for 0 is O, okay? O, okay? So after you release the negative emotion, what do you need to do? What do you think you need to do? I think this may be a bit, After you have released the emotion, what do you think you can do? And I would suggest something quite radical. Okay, a lot of times when we get our negative emotions, we only know, okay, it's my negative emotion, I'm angry. But what I'm going to share with you now is going to be radical, which is do the opposite, which is if the first one is fear, okay, if your first one is fear, can you give courage to someone else? Can you give courage to someone in your environment? It can be your kids. It can be your kids, it can be a friend. Okay, so the last one, O and O, it's observe and opposite. Observe who are the ones who have the same needs as us. Who are the ones who need the exact same emotion that you can change that. Yes, it would also be offering support, right? Offering support, offering help to someone else. Is it easy to find someone who also has fears? It's easy, right? Is it easy to find someone who's also maybe frustrated in their life? Or maybe, for example, they can, or maybe they are lost in terms of direction. Someone who needs more clarity. Is it easy to find people like that? Pardon? Is it easy to find people like that? It is, right? Definitely. So what is that? Z is what? Zen, breathing, okay? E, embracing your emotions and who you are, okay? R, reflect and release, okay? O, observe and opposite. Okay, now I'm going to extend it a little bit more, okay? How many of you run your own businesses how many of you run your own businesses or are working for someone? Either or, that means you are your own entrepreneur or you're working for someone. Everybody literally, right? So how many of you know what is your message to the world? How many of you know what's your message to the world? I'm sure there are some people who do. Okay, so if you don't know a message to the world, how are you going to find it? How do you think you can find it? Using whatever I've shared. How do you think you can find it? Do we agree that Do we agree that this is us? This is us, right? The negative emotions and the positive emotions, right? Do we agree that everyone's is unique? It's unique, right? So the positive emotions that you have are your values. These are your values. You have to go and find out what's your top 3. Can? So these are your values. Can they become your message? Yes. This is actually the key to helping you to find out who you really are. By starting small, by observing ourselves, observing what we really feel. And if once your values align, can you use your values and live it every day and understand what difference you're making, whether it's you are an employee or whether you are running your own business? Can you become a consistent day-to-day action? I cannot hear louder. Yes, okay. So I'll leave you with this. Okay, I hope it's useful. I hope you can practice journaling and use whatever you have embraced yourself in. Know what you can do and what you can make a difference. All right? Okay, thank you. Yeah, sure. Questions, come. Oh, the book. Okay, the book is called The Diamond Cutter. The Diamond Cutter by Geshe Michael Roach. Yeah, that's the book. So that book actually it's business problems, but actually there's a lot of reflection. So if you find the books a bit difficult and you want to find out a bit more, sure, feel free to contact me, okay? Okay, thank you. Let's pass it, Rahul.
Thank you so much, Fiona.